Let me ask you something. Have you ever checked your bank account, saw a number that made you pause and thought, okay, I need to chill this week? And then somehow, 2 days later, you're ordering food, buying something random online, swiping your card like nothing happened, and then you check your account again and it's worse, and you're sitting there like, how does this keep happening? Because it's not that you're lazy. It's not that you're stupid. You just keep breaking a few very simple rules that control everything about your money. My name is Alex, and I spend way too much time thinking about rules I need to follow to always have money. If you're someone who never has enough money, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Look, most people think money problems come from not making enough. But here's the thing. That's rarely the real issue, because there are people making $40,000 a year building wealth, and people making $150,000 living paycheck to paycheck. So what's the difference? It's not intelligence. It's not luck. It's the rules they follow. The first rule is spend less than you make, and actually mean it. This sounds obvious, but nearly 37% of Americans can't cover a $400 emergency without borrowing money. Think about that. That's not complicated. That's math. If you make $4,000 a month and spend $4,000, you're not stable. You're fragile. Because one unexpected expense and everything breaks. Here's what most people don't realize. Overspending isn't a math issue. It's a psychology issue. It's lifestyle inflation. You make more, and your life quietly gets more expensive. Better clothes, more takeout, upgraded everything. Your income goes up, but your situation stays the same. Now you might be thinking, yeah, but I deserve to enjoy my money. And you do. But enjoyment without control becomes stress. So here's the move. Track every dollar for 30 days. Not in your head. Actually track it. Because once you see it, you start changing it. The second rule is if you can't buy it twice, you can't afford it. Look, this one filters out almost every bad decision. If something costs $500, ask yourself if you could buy it twice without stress. If not, you probably shouldn't buy it once. Here's what most people don't realize. There's a difference between being able to pay for something and being able to afford it. You can swipe a card for anything. That doesn't make it a good decision. This is where it gets really interesting. Companies don't sell you products, they sell you monthly payments. Only $39 a month. Only $12 a week. They shrink the number so your brain says yes. But you're still paying the full price. Now you might be thinking, it's not that expensive. That's exactly the trap. Small decisions repeated daily create big financial problems. So before you buy anything non-essential, wait 24 hours. Most of the time, you won't even want it anymore. The third rule is that debt is designed to keep you stuck. Let's say you have $5,000 in credit card debt at a 20% interest rate. If you only make minimum payments, you could be paying that off for years and spend thousands extra in interest. Here's what most people don't realize. Debt doesn't just cost money, it changes your behavior. It removes the pain of spending. And when you don't feel the pain, you spend more. Studies show people spend 12 to 18% more using credit cards compared to cash. That's a huge difference over time. This is where it gets really interesting. Debt creates a loop. You spend, you feel good, you pay later, you feel stress, and then you repeat it. And the system is literally built to keep you there. So focus on eliminating high-interest debt first, because a guaranteed 20% loss is worse than any investment you think you're missing. The fourth rule is saving money isn't enough. Saving feels responsible, and it is, but it's not how you build wealth. Because of inflation. If inflation averages 2 to 3% and your savings earns less than that, your money is losing value every year. So even though the number in your account is going up, your purchasing power is going down. Here's what most people don't realize. Saving is defense. Investing is offense. You need both. If you invest $500 a month at an average 8% return, After 30 years, you're looking at around $745,000. That's not luck. That's consistency. Now you might be thinking, I don't have enough to invest. Start smaller. Even $50 a month matters. Because the habit matters more than the amount. Automate it so you don't have to rely on motivation. The fifth rule is your environment controls your spending more than you think. If your friends spend money constantly, you will too. If your social media is full of luxury lifestyles, your expectations shift. This is social proof. Humans copy behavior, even when it hurts them. Now you might think you're disciplined enough to ignore it. But over time, environment wins. Always. So, audit what you're consuming. Unfollow accounts that make you want to spend. Put yourself around people who value growth instead of appearances. The sixth rule is income alone won't make you wealthy. This is where a lot of people get it wrong. They think making more money will fix everything. But there are people making $50,000 building wealth and people making $200,000 who are broke. The difference is simple. What they keep. Let's say one person makes $50,000 and invests 20%, and another makes $150,000 and invests nothing. Over time, the first person wins. Every time. Here's what most people don't realize. Your financial life is built on systems, not income. So set a rule. Invest at least 20% of everything you make before you spend anything else. And the seventh rule, the most important one, is that time matters more than money. Let's compare two people. One invests $500 a month from age 20 to 30 and then stops. The other starts at 30 and invests $500 a month until 60. The first person still ends up with more money. Why? Compound interest. Money builds on itself. And time multiplies everything. This is where it gets really interesting. Waiting just 10 years to start can cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Not because you failed, but because you waited. So start now. Even if it's small, because time is your biggest advantage. Look, none of these rules are complicated. You've heard all of them before. Spend less. Avoid debt. Invest early. Control your environment. But knowing isn't the problem. Doing is. Because the real challenge isn't math. It's behavior. It's discipline. It's consistency. It's saying no when it's easier to say yes. And that's why most people stay stuck. But if you follow these 7 rules consistently, you will be ahead of most people financially, not overnight, but over time. And that's how real wealth is built, quietly, consistently, with discipline. So here's what I want you to do. Don't try to change everything at once. Pick one rule from this video and apply it this week. Just one. Because small changes lead to massive results over time. And if this helped you, make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Because once you understand how money actually works, everything changes.